Find out what's making you sick and how to heal. Anthony William is the medical medium.
Hello, I'm Anthony William. You're listening to the Medical Medium Radio Show, where each week we bring the most advanced information about health nowhere found anywhere else. Nowhere found anywhere else. And I say that not on the internet, nowhere else, and other books and so forth. So the information here comes from here. And we're talking about celery juice. So get ready for this one. Celery juice is a miracle. It's a miracle. What it can do for you, it's unbelievable what it can do for you. Doubt the power of celery, doubt the power of the miracle juice, then you're doubting hundreds of thousands of people that are turning their lives around right now through the information in the Medical Medium series, through the information with the celery juice that's in the books, and the information of the celery juice that Spirit and I have been putting out there every day for decades, really. And now it finally caught on like fire around the globe, and people are reversing their conditions. It is unbelievable. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, I started out years and years and years ago, really young, doing this. I know many of you know my story. And Spirit said, hey, people need to be on celery juice. And just when the early juicers, right from the beginning, all the way years back, decades ago, actually. And, you know, I would say to people, you have to, at 8 years old, you have to juice celery juice. You have to juice the celery juice for your gout, for your acne, for your eczema. You have to juice celery juice for your multiple sclerosis. You have to juice celery for your arthritis, for your rheumatoid arthritis. You have to juice celery for your thyroid conditions. And this has helped so many people that have been in my life all the way through, you know, all the years that have entered my life, people that have entered my life that needed help, that knocked on my door and said, what can I do about my gout? What can I do about my kidneys? What can I do about my pancreas? What can I do about, you know, everything else, my focus, my concentration? What can I do about my brain fog? What can I do about my aches and pains and tingles and numbness and ringing in the ears and thyroid problems and everything else? And first of all, what is wrong with me? And then Spirit and I would help answer that. But second of all, what can I do? And it would come through celery juice. When I was 6 years old, it would come through celery juice. 7 years old, celery juice for people. 11 years old, celery juice. 14 years old when I took on all my first clients, at 14 years old, when I started building up my practice, building up my clients, building up everything, and people coming to me, celery juice, get a juicer. The worst juicers on the planet were around back then. The worst, it was just blenders too. Get a cheesecloth, blend it up, put it in the cheesecloth, squeeze it out, a nut cloth. And you know, that was the option. And you squeeze that juice out of there, and after putting it into a really junky blender, it didn't matter what we had to do, but people got benefits, and they have for decades. Now we're at the point, we got great juicers. I'm going to talk about how to prepare it, how to make it, the best ways to do it, what it can do for you. I'm going to talk about the power of celery, what it has in it, what it can do for you. I mean, this is incredible. And you have to hop on the celery train, the miracle juice. You have to hop on the ride. You do. Why would you not want to? Unless you just hate celery, unless you hate it, or you're really hypersensitive for some reason to it. And then I can help you with that too, because we're going to cover that a little bit as well. Look, you want to lose 20 pounds, get your inflammation down, start bringing celery juice in. How does it stop inflammation? We're going to cover that too as well. So, you know, and the thing is, no matter what you're doing, whatever you believe in, if you're into just, you know, if you're into some kind of crazy diet, if you're into some, you know, paleo movement or some kind of elimination diet, or you're into whatever it is, you're into another branded diet out there that some guy invented or something, or you're into whatever trend or whatever diet belief system you're into, high protein, vegan, vegetarian, you're just whatever, if you're on all fish, whatever diet you believe in, whatever you're doing, if you're on the fast food diet, just junky fast food every day, and you're pulling in fast food restaurants, whatever you're doing, I'm just saying, with all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, bring in celery juice, okay? Bring it in. Do something to counter whatever you're doing that may not be perfect or may not be right. Even if you think you're on the most perfect diet, you're going to make mistakes, or the diet may have holes in it. It may have potholes in it that you don't know about, that the makers of the diet don't even know about. And, you know, whatever it is, you make sure you bring in some celery juice. It matters that much to your health. Bring it in for your family, bring it in for anyone, bring it in for your friends. Talk about it. Talk about it out there. Get the word out. Get people on celery juice. Get yourself on celery juice. It makes a big deal, makes a big difference. So it doesn't matter if you're eating processed foods. If you're someone that's just eating junk and processed foods, or you know somebody like that, give them a glass of celery juice is what I'm trying to tell you. If you know somebody that's on a high protein, low carb diet and they're just all into it and they're following some plan some person drew up out there, put them on celery juice. Put them on celery juice. But one of the things you do have to understand though, is that the thing is about the celery juice, when people hear it from me, which is the source, if they hear it from the source that started the celery juice movement, so if they hear it from me, they at least can get other pieces of critical information that come from the same source, so they can heal further and heal other things and get deeper levels of healing done. And, like I've done for so many people for so many decades. And like the books, the Medical Medium Series books are doing for millions around the world. So the point is that you at least, when you hear it from the source, you at least can get other critical pieces, like other things that are happening. Like if you can't do celery juice, do the straight cucumber juice. That's a critical piece. Do the straight cucumber juice if you can't tolerate the celery juice. If you can't get it from the source, then what happens is you might be at some other, other trend or trendy belief system, whatever, and you're drinking the celery juice and it's trying to counter something bad that's in some other diet or some other program or some other belief system. And that's the problem that we are running into, which makes it harder for people to see some of the results. It makes it harder for people to see some of the results. So they may be on eggs every day. There's diets out there where you're on 2-3 eggs a day, which actually feed all the viruses in the body, all the bacteria in the body, all the fungus in the body, and all the mold in the body. It actually feeds all that eggs. So what happens is somebody might be on this egg diet. You eat 2 eggs a day, and you do, this is what you do, and you stay away from fruit and you stay away from tomatoes, and they're on this ridiculous diet that's created by some person who just doesn't understand health, that just hopped on the bandwagon of the health movement in the last 5 years. And so what happens is with that, next thing you know it, you're drinking your celery juice. You get this unbelievable prize, this celery juice, this piece of information that's sourced out from me. You get this information, you get the celery juice, and you're drinking it, and it is helping you. It's saving you from a diet that's not good. That's the whole point, is what I'm trying to say. It's saving you from a diet that's not good. But the problem is, if you're doing other things in diets that aren't really good, and you really are having a condition or serious symptoms or a disease that you're working on, you're going to miss out on other prize pieces of information, choice pieces of information that also come from the same source that started the celery juice. This is really critical to understand. And this is what's happening too out there. You'll find there's hundreds of thousands of people out there right now, they're doing these celery juice and reversing their eczema, psoriasis, their acne, their gout, all kinds of their diabetes and everything. But they're also doing some other things, choice pieces of information that come from the Medical Medium Series books, that come from the source that started the celery juice. And I'm not saying, and what happens is, okay, you have to understand that then you can go further and further and further. But if it means you just need to start doing the celery juice in 4 ounces, and you're on some other cockamamie diet somewhere, some other crazy diet that you're on there out there, that's okay too, because what the celery juice is going to do is save your butt. It's going to be saving your butt from mistakes made by other professionals. It's going to be saving your butt by mistakes made from other trendsetters, okay? It's going to save your butt from other mistakes, that these bogus studies that are invented to try to derail people, keep them sick, and then practitioners and doctors, or different doctors and different people in the field and whatnot that are supposedly experts, they take on these bad ideas. And so you're drinking the celery juice to protect yourself from a lot of bad ideas and from a lot of bad pieces of information that are out there floating around the internet. It can help you. What it is, it's what I'm trying to say. It's your miracle. It's like your weapon, your secret weapon. It's like your protector. It's like your miracle. It's what it is. It's like your shield. So that means if you're trapped in a diet of some kind, whatever that might be, or you're not on any fancy diet at all out there, You're just you're just eating random stuff, but you want to try to juice for the first time. You want to counter all the random stuff you're eating, counter all the stuff that's not great you're eating with that celery juice, the power of it. And I'm going to go into what it does in the body, what it can do, and everything else. You got to stay tuned for this. Seriously, I'm just covering some important important parts of what you have to think about when you're doing celery juice. So that means, hey, what other sources of information does he have that's also that powerful and beneficial? Exactly. Like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to eat eggs? Yeah, you're not supposed to eat eggs. I don't care what diet you're on. If you're sick, you got problems, if there's symptoms going on, if you got bacteria, if you had UTIs, if you got sinus problems, if you got lung problems, if you catch colds too much, whatever it is. I mean, I could go on and on and on. If your hair's falling out, if you got problems with teeth, whatever it is, get off of eggs. Absolutely. Get off of some other dairy products too. But the point is that either way, whatever you're subscribing to out there, bring it in. Even if you're subscribing to things that aren't that beneficial, like avoiding fruit altogether, you have to understand that that's a big mistake out there. You can't avoid your berries. You can't avoid your apples. You can't avoid other fruits. If you're out there and you're on a trendy diet and it's telling you never to eat a potato, when a potato, I've seen them save lives of people with the worst digestive stress ever, where they couldn't eat a single thing and they went to 50 doctors and they're literally laying there wasting away, and potatoes brought them back. And if they didn't have them, they would be gone and dead. I've seen it over and over again, but there's trendy misinformation out there. Let's attack a tomato. Let's attack a potato. Let's attack fruit. Let's attack whatever. The fruit fear out there, unbelievable. Somebody said to me, you're so much about food, the medical medium community. You're so much about food and everything. Like, oh, I'm totally just not into it. You got too many rules. I don't have any. I barely have any rules. Try going to all. That means if someone thinks that means they hardly have been to different doctors where they put them on, oh, eliminate black beans but keep lentils. You can't eat white fish, but you can eat this fish. You can't eat this, but you can eat that. Oh, you can't eat cilantro, but you can eat parsley. Oh, you can have this, but you can't have chickpeas. You can have, this, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this, but you can have this. You can eat a strawberry, but you can't eat a raspberry. And then let me tell you something that'll make you go insane. You want to talk about food fear? You want to talk about food police? You want to talk about whatnot? So when people say I'm so loose on stuff, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how loose I am with food. It's like, look, be on your trendy diet, bring in celery juice. How loose can you get? It doesn't even make any sense. How easy breezy can it get with the medical medium information? Of course I want you learning more. Of course I want you getting to the source. Of course I want you getting better information so you could, if you're really sick, get better all the way. Get better all the way. Get better all the way. And that's the whole point. And I want you to do that. Exactly. Of course I do. But at the same time, I'm not throwing up some crazy flag and saying, oh, these are all the rules. Try going to all the different functional doctors, you wouldn't believe what I've heard from people and what they've gone through. And the people on social media, they're complaining, their food, this is too hard to do. Oh, try going to all the different, that means you haven't been to all the different people. So many thousands of people are going through the different elimination diets. They can make you insane. I just want you to try 4 ounces of celery juice. That's all I want you to do. Unbelievable. And I'm giving you permission to eat potatoes, for God's sake. You know what I mean? How, what more can I do? And so here's the deal with the celery. Why am I so passionate? Why does it change lives? Why can it change your life no matter what diet you're on? Why can it counter? How does it have the power to counter something that you're doing in your diet that isn't good? How does it have the power to reverse illnesses and disease? How is that? It's amazing, and that's what we're going to go through. Let's talk about what it can do, what kind of conditions it can help, and everything. Celery can help reverse acne. Okay, that's a big deal for so many people. It can help children with autism, ADHD. It can help children and adults, and young adults too, and older adults with eczema, psoriasis, ALS, leaky gut, which is really just a lot of bacteria in the gut. I talk about that in Medical Medium Book 1 and all that. Infertility, Lyme disease, okay? Celery juice can help people with Lyme disease. Okay, and if you want to know more about Lyme disease, get Medical Medium Book 1, read the Lyme disease chapter. Migraines, headaches, OCD, okay, obsessive compulsive disorder, pelvic issues in women, pelvic inflammatory disease, PID, which is all strep related, that gets in the uterus and gets in the pelvic region. That's how powerful celery is in celery juice. Check this out. Thyroid diseases, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hyperthyroidism, okay, hypothyroidism. How about that, all right? Thyroid tumors and cysts on the thyroid, nodules on the thyroid. That's how helpful celery is. Thyroid disorders of all kinds. Low reproductive system battery is what I call it. That means reproductive system problems women have, which is part of infertility. Diabetes. It can help you with diabetes 1. It can literally reverse diabetes 2. That's the power of celery. Hypoglycemia, blood sugar problems, adrenal fatigue. That's, celery juice is one of the most powerful things to restore adrenals and bring back adrenals. Think about that. Because of the mineral salts, which I'm about to go into, the powerful mineral salts in celery and what it's all about. Adrenal fatigue, it can help with that. Anxiety, celery can help anxiety. Sepsis, okay, it can help with sepsis. Urinary tract infections, UTIs. Sinus infections, sinus problems, kidney stones, gallstones, kidney disease, pancreatic cancer, pancreatic problems, pancreatitis, fatty liver, which people don't even know they have. In Liver Rescue, I'm talking about that all the time now. In Liver Rescue, chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, which is Epstein-Barr related, celery can help, and I'll tell you why, because it strips down the viruses. I'm going to explain that in a little more detail. Fibromyalgia, which is Epstein-Barr, lupus, which is Epstein-Barr, Sjogren's syndrome, Addison's disease, rosacea, the whole rosacea on the face, around the nose, around the face. It can help with lipomas. And people have those little fatty tumors all over them. Celery juice can help with that. Bladder issues, hyperactive bladder, incontinence, bladder cancer, bladder pain, pudendum nerve problems in the vaginal area and the bladder, interstitial cystitis, Crohn's disease, IBS, colitis. I mean, how much more do you want? Something to help something. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I have seen people with every single one of these conditions over the decades get better from celery juice. Celery juice. Okay, that's what I've seen people get better with. It's that unbelievable. And if you have something severe, if you have something critical, try to get to the source, which is the information that I've been born to hear and the information I've been bringing to everybody for decades. Try to get to the source of the Medical Medium series books or whatever, and the Liver Rescue book. Try to get to the source so you can glean, so you can get the other pieces that are critical to reversing everything. But the celery juice is the foundation. The celery juice is the powerful foundation you need and you got to have. It's that important. So the IBS, okay, thrush, celery juice, it's the ultimate thrush stopper. You know the deal with thrush, right? Yeah, hyperglycemia, which I said before, hypertension. How about hypertension? Hypertension, that's amazing. Depression, sleep apnea. Celery juice can help with sleep apnea. Thyroid cancer, BV, bacterial vaginosis, which is really strep. That's actually streptococcus. That's actually strep. So that can help it with that. It's incredible what can it do. Edema. Celery juice is amazing for edema and swelling. Injuries. You bang your knee. You bang your shoulders. You bang your shoulder. You hurt your shoulder. You bang your elbow. You sprain your wrist. It helps speed up the process of healing. Parasites, yeast infection, parasites like worms, and people get worms in their body. You want to expel worms? You drink celery juice every day. Yeast infections, which are really mostly strep infections. Insomnia. It's incredible for insomnia. Long-term insomnia, people who suffer from insomnia can actually reverse it by doing celery juice long-term. Celery juice. Mold exposure, which lowers your immune system and allows Epstein-Barr and HHV6 and shingles viruses to take over. That's why people get sick with mold. That's why you'll have a house filled with mold. You'll have a husband who's fine. He can eat mold. He can sleep in mold. He can just, he can shower in mold. And then, but the wife is literally bedridden, going to 50 doctors. And that's because mold is a trigger for the Epstein-Barr virus to take you down, to give you CFS, ME, to give you the whole bit, to give you Lyme disease diagnoses. It takes you down so that viruses can give you these problems. And so celery helps with that. I've helped people get out of the bed. I've helped people who literally were bedridden, women who were bedridden after mold exposure, triggering things with celery juice. That's the power we're talking about. Viral infections, ammonia permeability, that means gut rot. It means food not digesting and your gut rotting and rotting and the food rotting. And it can help you with that. It can help you with intestinal spasms, which gives you random pains that you can't get diagnosed with. Okay? It can help you with cysts, low hydrochloric acid, which we're going to cover in depth in a minute, sluggish liver, which everybody has. Don't you want celery juice so you can stop a sluggish liver that everybody has? Don't you want celery juice so you can stop a sluggish liver that everybody has? I mean, come on. Don't you want that? That is so important. It's so critical. And so, low cortisol, okay? The whole bit. High cortisol. There's all adrenal problems. Brain fog. Celery juice can help you with brain fog. It really can. Food allergies. It's one of the most powerful ways to stop food allergies and turn food allergies around. Acidosis, which so many people have. They're so acidic from their diets and the eggs they're eating and the dairy products and the bread they're eating and other things, and they get so acidic. It's unbelievable. Hypothyroid, I talked about that. Blurry eyes, joint pain, headaches, bloating, gas and bloating. Are you bloating? Do you know anybody who's bloated? Yeah, you drink celery juice and it doesn't fix the bloat in 1 hour, but what it does is it fixes the problem of the bloat. It fixes the bacteria that's been rising up in the low hydrochloric acid that's in the stomach. What happens is the hydrochloric acid in the stomach gets diminished. It gets diminished. The gastric acids get diminished. And I'm going to talk about that more, but it gets diminished. And what happens is when that happens, your bacteria rises, all the different bugs rise, and E. coli starts to build up, a lot of strep starts to build up, and you start bloating chronically. Abdominal pressure, when you feel that abdominal pressure going on, celery juice helps ease abdominal pressure. Incredible. Distension, which is pressure up top. Chronic dehydration. Dry eyes, eye dryness, where you go to doctor and you don't know what to do. You just got the eye dryness. You don't understand it. Frozen shoulder. How many people I've known over the years that have viral frozen shoulder, undiagnosed, caused by the shingles virus? I talk about it in all my books. Information nobody knows out there, and they get diagnosed with this frozen shoulder, and it takes a year to free it up and get them to use their arm again. Sometimes it's mild, sometimes it's more serious. That's the shingles virus, by the way. Celery juice helps with that. Acid reflux. Yeah, acid reflux is a buildup of bacteria. That's actually creating acids. That's how it works. H. pylori, building up. Streptococcus, building up. Inflamed gallbladder, stomach problems, meaning any kind of tummy problem, they ease off. Small intestinal tract issues, colon problems, rashes. So rashes, yeah, celery juice can help with all kinds of different rashes. Nausea, the white film on people's tongues. Candida overgrowth, and candida is good for you, believe it or not, to have in your system, but it grows and grows and grows when everything's off balance, because it's trying to protect you, and you want it to go down. You want your candida levels to go down, because that means when they go down, that means other bacteria, meaning bacteria in the body is diminishing, and the celery juice can help that. This is how important all this is. I mean, come on, anxiousness. You know people who are extra anxious, that's from mineral salt deficiencies. That's from neurotransmitter deficiencies. And celery juice restores mineral salt deficiencies and neurotransmitter deficiencies. Think about that. Memory loss. How many times have I offered celery juice for people over the years, and it increased and improved somebody's memory? If I had a nickel for every time, I'd have a mansion. I mean, it's just unbelievable what celery juice has done for people. Food sensitivities, like I said, swelling, inflammation in all kinds of different places in the body. You get diagnosed with a random inflammation. Your doctor doesn't know why you have it, but celery juice knocks it down. Muscle spasms, leg cramps, fatigue of all kinds, including neurological fatigue, which I brought to the table. I'm the first person to bring neurological fatigue to the table. Other than that, all the medical world knew it was just called fatigue. That's all they knew. It was fatigue. Okay. So that's what I mean. Come back to the source. You come back to the source. If the first time you're hearing this show, I'm begging you to get other information for your family and you so you can heal. Okay, then I sleep better at night knowing that you're doing something good for yourself, and it's important to know. And you wouldn't believe the information that originates here and from Spirit all these years. Neurological fatigue is that one. Fatigue, mineral deficiencies, brain inflammation caused by neurotoxins. Neurotoxins are produced by viruses. People get brain inflammation. They get off balance. They feel dizzy. They get the vertigo. Their vagus nerve swells up. They got the Epstein-Barr. They got other viruses. And celery juice helps sleep disturbances. It helps too. Think about that for a minute. How much did I just cover right there? How much did I just cover? A lot. It's unbelievable. So let's go into it. Gallstones. What is celery juice? It can start dissolving. What can it do? It can start dissolving gallstones. I'm going kind of fast and speedy today because there's that much to cover with the power of celery. Gallstones can start to pit. Celery juice can cause them to pit. That means slowly dissolve and break them down. You're drinking your celery juice every day. That's what you're doing. You're drinking it. What's it doing? It's going into your intestinal tract. Then where's it going from there? It's going into your intestinal tract up the portal vein. I talk about this in Liver Rescue. If you haven't picked up Liver Rescue, go and order a Liver Rescue as soon as you can. And so what's happening is the celery juice is going up the portal vein, up to the liver, heading up to the liver. That's what it's doing. The celery juice finds its way. I talk about this in great detail, though, in Liver Rescue. It finds its way into the gallbladder. It goes up the duct, up the bile duct, into the gallbladder is what it does. And then the mineral salts, the critical cluster salts that are undiscovered by research and science that are in celery juice. You think research and science knows anything about celery juice yet? No, they don't. They don't. You have to understand, they just think salt is salt. That's all. That's all. And if you hear something now about mineral salts in celery, it came from me. And you have to know that. You have to know that. Just so you're not all of a sudden saying, you're at some other source like I was saying before, and now you're like, wait a minute, eggs are good? I could eat lots of eggs? Oh, good. Oh, wait, stay away from a potato? Oh, of course, no, bad. Stay away from a piece of fruit? Oh, yeah, of course, bad. And don't get tricked. It's important to know that. Don't get tricked. That's just a fraction of what you can get tricked by out there. But the mineral salts find their way up the liver, up through the bile duct, into the gallbladder. These mineral salts, these are cluster salts. Undiscovered by research and science, they're subgroups of the mineral salts that are in celery juice. So dissected under a microscope someday, decades down the road, and they haven't done it yet because there's no money in celery juice. There's no money. There's no money in it. So for research and science, there's no money. Medical world they don't want anything to do with celery juice because all it does is heal people. It heals people. That's not going to help. That's not going to help the medical machine. That's not going to help the medical industry that thrives on money. That's not going to help at all. So the whole point is that the celery juice, the undiscovered cluster salts, these powerful cluster salts that are in celery juice, they drive up to the gallbladder and they start to dissolve gallstones. But better than that, better even than that, they start to break down the shield that's on bugs. And when they enter the liver, what happens is here it goes. Here it goes now. You drink your celery juice. You just drank it. It's going down the pike. The first thing it does, let's talk about the first thing it does. It starts to restore and ignite your stomach glands. It restores your gastric glands in your stomach that produce hydrochloric acid and other critical gastric acid. So here you go. Because everybody's walking around low hydrochloric acid. Everybody is. They're walking around low hydrochloric acid every day. And that's how pathogens grow in the body. And that's how people get sick. And that's how people die early in their lives. Okay? And then what happens is you're drinking celery juice. It's starting to restore the hydrochloric acid levels. How? There's a 7-blend undiscovered by research and science. 7-blend gastric acid. It's complex. It's not just hydrochloric acid by itself. It's hydrochloric acid made up of 7 different acids. And they're going to discover that 2 decades from now, maybe 3. It's not going to do them any good to discover it because what is it going to do? How are they going to make money off of it? That's what it's all about. That's how science and research works. So the deal is that 7-blend hydrochloric acid gets restored. Somebody might walk around with 4 out of the 7 that are working, 3 that aren't. and then pathogens are growing, problems are happening, fungus is growing inside the gut, problems are happening all over through the body. Viruses are spawning inside the liver. Everything's going wrong, and people get sick. And you just get sick, and you get all kinds of problems. You get fatigue, you get aches and pains, and other problems, and just eye problems, ear problems. It just all starts happening. And the thing is, you can do something about it. So let's start with the process. You're drinking your celery juice. Gulp, 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 gulp. You're drinking it. It goes into the stomach. It's starting to restore the gastric glands. Every day, a little bit at a time. It starts to bring back the 7-blend hydrochloric acid that you have in your stomach. The one that when all 7 of the acids combine into that one hydrochloric, when that one group of hydrochloric acid are all combined and all together, the power in that to kill pathogens and to digest food and to break down protein, so that when you're eating protein, so if you're on some high protein diet, it doesn't mean all that protein's being digested. It doesn't mean it's all breaking down. Gets pushed down into your gut and rots. The celery juice is critical because it can help you digest protein. So if you're on this high protein diet out there and you drink celery juice all the time, you're going to be able to digest whatever it is you're eating. If you're into eating lamb, then you'll be able to digest it better. If you're eating cow, then that's going to digest it better. Chicken, it's going to digest it better. Pork, it's going to digest it better. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're into eating fish, it's going to digest you're going to digest it better. And the same thing with vegans. If you're into eating tons of nuts, all that protein, because nuts are just, they're tons of protein. You're eating all those nuts and seeds all the time, and all those nut butters and all those seed butters, and you're eating all that, and you're eating all these sprouted grains or all these sprouted seeds or all these sprouted whatever, and you're getting all that protein. Well, what happens is, if you drink your celery juice, then your body can break down the celery juice. Break down the protein. So that means your hydrochloric acid can build up and break down those proteins. If you're vegetarian and you're eating eggs and eggs and eggs, and you're eating dairy products, which a lot of people eat regardless of whether they're vegetarian or not, and you're eating all these different things and all this different protein, you're eating this yogurt, this whatever it is, and it's all protein. What happens is, you drink your celery juice, your hydrochloric acid builds up, it gets really strong. That 7 blend that's undiscovered by research and science that sits inside your stomach, that the glands produce. And what happens is, you break down those proteins, so you don't get gut rot, so you don't get sick, so you don't die 10 years earlier than you're supposed to when you get older. That's the power of celery. And I'm not saying all those diets are perfect, and I'm not saying all those diets are right, and I'm not saying all those diets have the right idea. That's not it at all. I'm just trying to tell you the difference in what happens when your hydrochloric acid's getting stronger. That's why right now, all over the world, when people are on all kinds of different diets, they're reporting, hey, wait a minute, my digestion's getting stronger, my bloat's going down, regardless of what they're eating. That's what I'm talking about. So let's go down the rest of the path. You drink the celery juice. It's doing that with the hydrochloric acid. Now it's going down into the intestinal tract. What does it do? It starts to touch the mineral salts, these undiscovered cluster salts in celery, start to touch bacteria, strep pockets of bacteria in the small intestinal tract that cause SIBO and just everybody's got SIBO, just so you know. Sorry, newsflash, everybody's got SIBO. Newsflash, everybody's got small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. Newsflash, depends on how bad it is. Could be mild to bad to severe. A lot of people walking around with it mildly. A lot of people walk around with it severe. So that celery juice, those undiscovered cluster salts, go down into the small intestinal tract, and they start touching bacteria and start working on killing the bacteria, stripping the bacteria, the shield, the membrane off the bacteria. That's what it starts to do. I'm giving you the 411 on this. I'm giving you the information, the critical information that nobody knows out there. It doesn't exist anywhere else but here. I'm telling you that so you don't go, oh, this is cute, celery juice. Let me go find another source, which originally came from me, but they didn't take all the good information. They just brought in their own. It's like you just need to know where this comes from. Then the mineral salts break down that strep bacteria, that E. coli bacteria, that H. pylori bacteria, that C. diff bacteria that people do have. Everybody walks around. The staph that's inside the intestinal tract and other forms of bacteria. A lot of people have chlamydia still sitting inside their intestinal tract. Then maybe they got chlamydia back in college or something. You think it's gone just because of an antibiotic? It just sits there in these small, tiny pockets and small amounts that the immune system's controlling, and it just sits in the intestinal tract all the way. And so the celery juice goes down there and starts to annihilate or break down membranes and shields. And then you come across viruses, such as like Epstein-Barr's, and you come across something like shingles sitting inside the colon for people that have colitis. And you start and people have Crohn's and IBS and everything else with all the strep in them, and they have the shingles virus in the intestinal tract, which science and research has no idea which causes colitis, but it does, the shingles. And then it's touching the membranes on these different bugs, and that's why it helps reverse Crohn's, colitis, IBS. It's unbelievable what I've seen it do, especially when you're doing other critical pieces of information that come from the source of the medical medium books and everything else. But it's unbelievable about what it does. Let's keep on going down. Let's keep on talking about what it does. So you drank that celery juice. I talked about what it did, right? It built the hydrochloric acid. You remember that? It did that, how it 7 blend. What happens there? And then it goes down the pike, starts hitting all kinds of bacteria in the small intestinal tract, right? The whole bit. And then it starts to, at the bottom of the small intestinal tract, you get to the ileum. It starts to repair the ileum. The mineral salts in celery juice, the cluster salts that are undiscovered, repair the ileum. Your ileum. That's before your colon. That's where a lot of people get sick. It's in the ileum. A lot of people get constipated because the ileum is inflamed. Constipation. A lot of people have problems with the ileum where they have to be surgically removed, where they cut 10 inches and out of a lot of people. The ileum, that's where, boom, you have all kinds of problem down there. Or you have appendicitis, you get the next thing you know, you're getting your appendix removed. You want to keep your appendix healthy, so the mineral salts get down there. The ileum produces B12. Celery juice helps you produce B12. It helps restore and keep protected. See, what it does is here's the deal. Celery juice does not kill off good bacteria, good microorganisms. It can't. In fact, microorganisms and your immune system use the power of the mineral salt, the cluster salt. They use it to fight pathogens. You have to understand the difference in the degree this is. So as the celery juice goes down, it then gets absorbed through the colon wall and the small intestinal tract wall at the bottom. Where does it go? It goes up veins, the portal veins. I talk about this in Liver Rescue. Up the portal veins into the liver. And those mineral salts go into the liver, and guess what's sitting inside everybody's liver? Toxins, poisons, toxic heavy metals, gasoline from filling gasoline tanks at the gas station, okay? Gas grills, gas coming out of gas grills when you're grilling on your gas grill. You're breathing in all that burning gas, all sitting inside the liver. Perfumes and colognes when you're out. Potpourri in stores and burning candles that are all toxic. Plug-in air fresheners and air fresheners of all kinds, aerosols of all kinds, you name it, laundry detergents, conventional sprays for cleaning products, solvents, everything sitting inside your liver for years and years. And what's sitting inside your liver for years is before you're even born, your family's liver and their liver and your ancestors and your forefathers and their livers and all the industrial revolution starting from the late 1700s. When everybody's liver started getting contaminated, and now we have a liver crisis on planet Earth right now where everybody's liver is toxic and causing problems. Yes, it is. I talk about it in Liver Rescue. And those mineral salts from celery enter into that liver and pow. And what happens? It starts to loosen that stuff up and start to pull that stuff out. And livers are filled with neurotoxins and dermotoxins from viruses. Epstein-Barr's are in everybody's liver. I hate to say it. I hate to tell you. I hate to hand you the news, but Epstein-Barr's residing in almost every single person's liver. It's residing in there. And it sits in there and it ends up causing problems later on. Why do you think it causes all the different liver problems? It causes liver cysts down the road and scar tissue and hepatitis C and everything else all the way down the road. You're 70 years old and you just got diagnosed with hepatitis C and you don't even understand it's because you had Epstein-Barr sitting inside your liver since you were 20 years old. The thing is all this is inside the liver. Different viruses, bacteria is sitting inside the liver. And the mineral salts from the celery, the power of the celery gets inside the liver and it starts to loosen up the toxins that feed these viruses and gets them out of the liver. And I talk about in Liver Rescue how it gets it out of the liver. It's amazing. It's not just going up the bile duct. It's unbelievable what the liver possesses. It possesses like an umbrella-like shape where underneath it there's porous material underneath, undiscovered by research and science, where toxins can actually leave the liver from the bottom of the liver. And they can also leave through the portal highway. They can leave through other avenues. It's amazing how it works. But the celery juice loosens up these toxins, and then it starts to break down cell membranes on viruses such as Epstein-Barr that create neurotoxins, giving you fatigue, giving you weight gain, giving you neurological symptoms, tremors, shakes, giving people the different aches and pains, giving people tinnitus, giving people ringing in the ears. It's tinnitus, of course, giving people all kinds of problems and different things. Floaters in the eyes. Sensations, tingles, numbness, whatever, the whole bit, all these different things, anxiety, people walk around, depression. These are all neurotoxins coming from viruses such as Epstein-Barr. And what happens? The subgroup undiscovered mineral salt, the complexity of these going inside the liver through the portal vein, breaking down, dissolving membranes on viruses, getting people better, loosening up debris, loosening up material, loosening up garbage and junk inside the liver, shaking it up so it's not sluggish, helping people lose weight, stopping you from getting diabetes. Unbelievable is what I'm trying to talk about. Celery juice cleanses the liver. You know what else celery juice does? It builds muscle. It helps build muscle. People's livers get clogged up. Their muscles get filled with toxins. Their lymphatic system gets filled with toxins. So that's what happens. You walk around and your muscles get filled with poison. That's what happens. They get filled with poison. And so people think, oh, eat more protein to actually build your muscles. That's actually not even correct. Protein's fine. It's okay to have some protein, but that's not how it works. It's not how muscles are built. And what celery juice does is it gets into muscles and it pulls out bad acids that are in muscles. It pulls out a toxin and poisons, different toxins and poisons out of the muscles. So you can actually get stronger muscles, more toned, a harder muscle, a more flexible muscle. That's incredible what celery juice, what it can do. Celery juice helps the spleen heal. Celery juice helps bone marrow stay strong in people. Celery juice helps red blood cells get produced. It's the hemoglobin. It helps so many facets and aspects of our body systems. It purges the lymphatic system out so that you don't get cancers down the road. It purges the lymphatic system so your lymphocytes are strong and shut down viruses that cause cancer. And that's the power of celery. Do you want celery in your life? What do you think? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's talk about this. Did you know the people that are reversing eczema and psoriasis, the babies and the children that are reversing eczema and psoriasis, did you know about the adults that are drinking celery juice that their eczema and psoriasis are going away? Because literally going away when nothing else could get it to go away. Because the celery juice is cleaning up the liver and removing dermatoxins and killing off the Epstein-Barr virus and removing copper out of the liver so that all of this leaves. And so the eczema and psoriasis goes away. If you want to know more about that, just pick up Liver Rescue. You gotta pick up Liver Rescue if you can. If you can't afford Liver Rescue, just go to the library. Go to the library. Go there and just get it. That's all. Just take it out of the library. I don't care if thousands go to the library. But make sure you get Liver Rescue so you can learn more about this. So that's the power with the eczema and psoriasis. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The cluster salts, the sodium subgroup that's undiscovered in celery, helps balance every single system in your body. It helps protect the brain, focus and concentration, ADHD. Really important. Celery juice can help it. Now, here's how it works. Inside your brain, you got these neurotransmitter chemicals, okay? And electrical impulses, use them to burn. So electrical impulse is electricity running through your brain. An electrical impulse is about to run down a neuron. inside your brain. You're thinking right now. What are you thinking right now? Hey, where can I get some celery? What are you thinking right now? Whoa, this is pretty good information. Maybe I should start doing something for myself. Whoa, he says it's no big deal. It doesn't matter right now what diet I'm on in the moment. Let me just get a little celery juice in me and start changing my body chemistry for the better. Whatever you're thinking about right now, your neurons are firing up, your electrical impulses are firing up, and the electrical impulse is running down that neuron, and it's burning on a neurotransmitter chemical. Guess what? Get celery juice in you so it actually restores that neurotransmitter chemical. Celery juice is the foundation, a basis. It's literally the base of a neurotransmitter chemical. If you go to the store and you're like, look at these electrolyte waters, let me have these, electrolytes, that's garbage. That's junk compared to what celery has to offer electrolyte-wise. It's the ultimate electrolyte. If you're a runner, if you like exercising, if you're not even sick, if you don't even have problems, you're not bedridden, like the people that have gotten out of bed all these years and all these decades that have lived their lives now and they move past everything. And they're not even on social media because they live their lives and they're just doing their everyday thing, and they got their life back 20 years ago from doing celery juice and other things that were critical from the medical medium information. If you're somebody that's not even sick like that and you're running and you feel great and you happen to come across this show, and you do celery juice, you do it for your marathon running, you do your celery juice for what you're doing. Absolutely. You bring it in for all those exercise routines you got. You bring it on for your Pilates. You bring it on for all your intense yoga that you're doing, whatever it is. You bring that celery juice in. You want to make your life better and better, because what it does is those mineral salts, they are the electrolytes. They are the electrolytes I'm talking about that turn things around, that change your life, that get into you deep. Those electrolytes go into that neuron. They go on the neuron. They sit there like fuel. So when that electrical impulse runs down that neuron while you're thinking about going to get celery juice right now and you're listening to the show, it's running down that neuron. It needs that neurotransmitter chemical to be filled with what celery has to offer it. It needs that right now for you so you can get stronger and better, so you can get the power of celery juice, so you can change your life. That's what I'm talking about. I've seen people out there say, hey, this can change your life or that can change your life, when it really doesn't. And it's just a big letdown. And I totally get that. I've seen it over and over again out there. I don't even like using the terminology, this can change your life, because of the amount of letdowns I've seen out there. It hurts. It hurts. And it hurts for me to use that term, okay? But I'm using that term for a reason, because celery juice can change your life. That's why I'm using that. I've seen so many people out there, oh, this can change your life. This can change your life. This spiritual thing can change your life. This, the other thing can change your life. And really, I've seen a lot of people and their lives not be changed. And they're just walking around, oh, this can change your life. Hey, let's put this ad out. It can change your life. I'm using this for a darn reason, a darn good reason, because it can and it will. That's right. And I say that with confidence, ultimate confidence, not because I'm a confident speaker. That's not it at all. I mean, heck, I do these radio shows and I'm like, hey, I'm just doing the best I can. I'm confident in what celery does. That's what I'm confident about. What celery does. It's the miracle, like I said. We covered the hydrochloric acid, the 7 blend. We covered just some of the conditions and diseases and illnesses it can help with. If you're too sensitive, let's talk about preparation. If you're too sensitive, start with a few ounces of celery juice. If you need to add apple, add it. But listen to me here. Do not keep that apple in long term. You start going back to plain celery juice. It has to be plain celery juice. If you just add celery into all your other juices, it's not going to work, you guys. It has to be straight celery juice, 16 ounces of straight celery juice or more, 20 ounces. Do 30 ounces a day. Do 15 ounces, 16 ounces twice a day, 32 ounces. Do that, but start with whatever you can. Do 4 ounces if you need to, okay? Get a juicer, the best juicer you can. If you can't get the best juicer, then get whatever juicer you can. Do it. If you don't have a juicer and you have to blend it, then blend it in a good quality blender of some kind, and then dump it into a cheesecloth, a nut cloth. Squeeze it out. Squeeze the juice out. Do the celery juice that way. If you can't get a juicer, but 16 ounces every single day is ideal. 16 ounces twice a day is unbelievable and unreal. If you can't go to that level, it's okay. Do 2 ounces, 4 ounces. Start with a little. Start with whatever you can. If you can't touch celery juice at all, do cucumber juice, straight cucumber juice, and no celery at all. It's the second best thing. If you can't do celery juice, go to cucumber juice. I'm just telling for the people who think they're either allergic to celery, or they have a problem with celery, or they just hate it so much. Go to cucumber juice without a doubt. You can do that. But you can do, and you look, if you need to bring in an apple to sweeten up, bring in an apple to sweeten it up. I'm okay with that, but take the apple out later because you have to do it plain. That's the information, critical pieces of information that come from the source all this time, which has been me and Spirit, or Spirit and I, the whole time is 16 ounces of celery juice once a day if you can. If you could do more, amazing. If you can do 8 ounces, incredible. But start doing it on, you can do it on an empty stomach, which is best. If you can't do it on an empty stomach, just get it in you somehow. I don't put that many rules down. The rules are not, it's not like it's crazy rules. Like when you run around to all the different doctors and they got you doing all these different elimination diets and God knows what, you got a million rules. That's not it here. If you can't do celery juice on an empty stomach, then don't do it on an empty stomach. Drink it with something else, but I'd like it on an empty stomach if you can. And 16 ounces daily. The power of this is amazing. Do not buy celery juices bottled. Do not buy them bottled. It's not the same thing. You can go to a store, a health food store, and have them make it fresh right in front of your eyes. You can totally do that and have them send that celery juice right through the juicer and make it fresh right in front of your eyes. That's great, but don't buy the bottled stuff because you have to be careful of HPP, high pressured pasteurization, where it looks fresh, it acts like it's fresh, it's bottled up as celery juice, it's sitting in juice stores, but be very cautious. Go to juice stores. I love juice stores. Don't get me wrong. But I love juice stores that'll juice it fresh right in front of you. I don't like juice stores that juice in it sitting there for a few days, or it's sitting there for 2 weeks because it's HPP, high pressured pasteurization. And they'll tell you, no, it's raw. It's not pasteurized. That's a trick. That's a total trick. You have to be careful. You get it juiced in front of you. If you go to a health food store, you have them juice it for you. Hey, can I have celery? Sir, can I have celery? Can you give me like a your biggest container of celery juice? Can I just have that? And then you just go and do that. If they say, well, we don't juice it like this. We have it all juiced. It's all in these bottles and it's all sitting on the shelf over there. I wouldn't do it with celery. I wouldn't do it. It could be because first of all, it's not fresh. Second of all, it could be HPP. And you have to be very careful. And I see that out there now. A lot of companies now, they're offering, different juices, just meaning like any kind of juice. They're offering all kinds of juice, beet, carrot, whatever it is, and spinach. They're offering all these juices, but it's high pressured pasteurization. I wouldn't drink that in a million years. I walk into stores, I would never buy that, even if it looks like it's good. But, hey, look, you do the best you can, I guess. But I don't like the bottled celery juice. You want to get it fresh. Go into your favorite health food store. See if they got juicers there. See if there's a guy there or a girl there that can juice for you. That's what you want to do. And that's the way to do it. If you can't get it that way, you learn to do it at home. Put it in a blender, put it in the nut cloth, cheesecloth, and squeeze the heck out of it out and make your own juice if you need to. You got these different options. Very important, all of it. So I want to cover what else we can cover with this real quick. Basically what it means, look, if you're starting the celery juice, if you're drinking the celery juice and you can't handle it and it's not making you feel good at first, that means you're highly toxic. You got a high viral load, your liver's toxic, filled with different chemicals and different toxins and poisons, heavy metals, everything. So you have to know that it takes time. It takes time to detox carefully and gently so you can drink a little bit more at a time. 2 ounces, 4 ounces, then you're up to 6 ounces, then you're up to 10 ounces. That's how it works. I talked about, how to prepare it. We got that. It's important to know that you can heal. And this is one of the powerful aspects of healing that we brought to the table for people out there. Remember the source too, because remembering the source can help you with other pieces of critical information that have brought originally to the world so they can heal. And you have to know, I've watched celery juice literally change the lives of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people globally. You need to know the power it has. If you run across somebody like a troll on social media and they're like, oh, that doesn't work, you should try this. Oh, that doesn't work, you should go here. Whatever it is, just know that's not true. Celery juice works. Don't get swayed and don't get tricked. Okay? and just take one day at a time. I'm not selling celery juice something or another. I'm not making money off of celery juice. But you can make health off of celery juice. You can make health off of it. Stay away from celery powder. It doesn't work. So celery powders do not do the same thing. So that's something else to avoid. I love you guys. This has been an awesome show about celery. I'm so proud of everybody. Just take it one day at a time. If you can't do it now, how about trying it a month from now? What about that? You can try it a month from now. Why not? You take it one day at a time. That's what I always say. And learn how to heal. Bless your heart. I stand behind you 100%. I know so many people are struggling and suffering. I love you guys dearly, and I'm with you. I truly am. Every day, I want to help in any way. Bless your heart. God bless you, and take care. Bye now.